Hi everyone, here my Rishikesh from class 9 group VideoShow, and today I am going to discuss a topic that is meristematic tissue, and it is a type of tissue which is belongs to plant tissue. Okay, so let's begin. So meristematic tissue can be described by simply a word, that is a growing tissue. Means meristematic tissue is the growing tissue part of the plant. And the main thing which I want to discuss about in this meristematic tissue is that the three parts, means three types of meristematic tissue which is present in a growing plant. That's the number one. That's the number one, apical. The second one, intercalary, and after that, lateral. Now let's explain about the main thing which are apical, intercalary, and lateral. So let's begin. So for describing the apical, lateral, and intercalary, I have to draw a diagram of a plant which is a growing plant. So let's begin. So I have drawn here a growing plant. Now I will discuss here that which part is known as the apical, lateral, and intercalary. The part means the top part of the growing plant is known as the apical. Apical means apical is present in this part, and it is responsible, means its function is to develop the apex, means the top part of the growing plant. Means the growth of this part, means apex, is dependent on apical, which is present here. And after that the lateral. The lateral is the part of the growing plant which is present in the side of the plant, and it is responsible for growth of the girth of the plant. Also known as the how thicker is the plant, it will depend on the lateral part of the plant. Now the intercalary. The intercalary is responsible for the growth of the distance between the nodes of the plant, and the nodes of a plant is this. You can say that from here to here. The nodes we can say, means we can mainly see it in the sugarcane and the bamboo. And intercalary is mainly found in the nearer portion of the nodes, and it is responsible for the growth of the distance from one node to another. You can see here that in the lower part of the plant, near the root, the distance from one node to another is less, and so because the less is because of the intercalary, and here it is far more increasing than this part, and this is also dependent on the intercalary. You can say that apical is responsible for the growth of the tip of the plant, and the lateral is responsible for the growth of the girth, means how thick is the plant, and the intercalary is dependent on means responsible for the growth of the distance between the nodes of the plant. And you can say that this is responsible for the growth of the height, means how longer is the plant. And after that, here my presentation ends in the topic meristematic tissue. Hope you like it. So thank you for it.
The salivary glands are all made of cuboidal epithelium. Okay, I hope you have understood this also. Now let's move on to our last topic, the last section, which is columnar epithelium. Now what are columnar epithelium? Columnar epithelium are columns which is attached, which is like column like cells attached with basement membrane, the lining of the respiratory tract. Okay, I hope you have understood this also, and thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you like it, and have a good day ahead. Hey, good afternoon everyone. So today we're going to have a detailed look at epithelium tissues. What are epithelium tissues and what are its types? We're going to have a detailed look at them. But before we further move on to epithelium tissues, we need to know from where it came from. Okay, in your table you can see in the animals tab there are 4 sections: epithelium, muscular, conductive, and nervous. Then they are all tissues. And if we zoom into the epithelium tissues, there are another 5 types: squamous, cuboidal, columnar, and last to ciliated and granular. These two, ciliated and granular, are known as special epithelium tissues. So that we will not discuss now. So now let's move on to epithelium tissues. Now what are epithelium tissues? Like in simple words, if we say, epithelium tissues are like protective covering in animal, like another layer of protection in animals. Okay, this is an animal, and this is an epithelium tissue, and this protects the epithelium, this protects the animal. So this another layer of protection is known as epithelium tissues. I hope you understand this. Now let's move on to squamous epithelium. Okay, What is squamous epithelium? Squamous epitheliums are like extremely thin and flat epithelial tissues. They are very thin and very flat. In a picture you can see, for example, let us take the esophagus. So esophagus have very, like you can see, it's extremely thin and flat, protective layering. I hope you have understood this also, the squamous, simple squamous epithelium. Okay. Now let's move on to cuboidal epithelium. Before that, there is another type of squamous epithelium, which is stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, means what is stratified? Stratified means layers. Now we can say the stratified squamous epithelium means a squamous epithelium present in layers. Like this is a squamous epithelium, this is a squamous epithelium, another layer, like this type is squamous. This type is, which is arranged when simple squamous epithelium is arranged in layers, is known as stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, now let's move on to cuboidal epithelium. So in cuboidal epithelium, by the name only we can say that the cells of the cuboidal epithelium are like cubes, are cuboidal, cube-like cells. In the picture you can see the lining of the kidney tubes, the salivary glands are all of.
So good morning to everyone. In this presentation I am going to say a few words about a special type of tissue which are known as the meristematic tissue. This meristematic tissue can be only found in plant cells, or we could say in plants. So what is the main function behind this meristematic tissue? The meristematic tissue mainly helps in the growth and development of the plant, increasing the height of the plant, increasing the girth, or we could say is the breadth, means like this, that if the plant increases in a breadth-like direction like this, that means it is a function of the meristematic tissue. And lastly, there is the intercalary meristematic tissue which helps in the increase of internodes. So let us look at a deep view and then. So whenever we see a plant growing its height, or whenever we see the height of a plant increasing, then we may come to an conclusion that this is due to the apical meristematic tissue. This apical meristematic tissue is present in the stem, in the roots, especially in the parts of the plant where it would grow. And then comes our lateral meristematic tissue, which is present in the girth of the plant, and it increases the weight of the girth of the plant. And now, before moving on to the intercalary or the internodes, I want to say you is a node. So the parts of the plant from where leaves arise, or we could say as many branches, etc. arise, their points are called as internodes. Whenever we could see those internodes as very small parts of the plant, but they will eventually grow into a larger twig, stem, etc. So the places between the two internodes is known as internodes, and this intercalary meristematic tissue is mainly associated with the increasing number of internodes. So some special characteristics of this, they have a dense cytoplasma, and they have no vacuoles in, and the vacuoles, because they don't contain vacuoles, because vacuole contain everything, and a substance called cell sap is means that substance is not necessary, and it creates problem in cell division, and cell division is the main function taking place in meristematic tissue.
Hello everyone, my name is Devika Deka and I am a student of class 9, and today I am going to give a short presentation on the topic cells. So cells are the structural and functioning unit of life. Cells were first discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665, and the cell theory was given by three biologists, Sladen, Schwann and Virchow, which states cells are the structural and functional unit of life. Cells are functional unit of life. All cells arise from pre-existing cells, and there are two types of cells, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cells, the size of the cell is generally small, whereas in eukaryotic cell, the size is generally large. In prokaryotic cell, nuclear region is poorly defined due to the absence of nuclear membrane and known as the nucleus. And in eukaryotic cell, the nuclear region is well defined and surrounded by a nuclear membrane. And prokaryotic cells, the chromosome is single, but in eukaryotic cell there are more number of chromosomes. In prokaryotic cells, the membrane-bound cell organelles is absent, whereas in eukaryotic cell, membrane-bound cell organelles is present. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ankita Mandal and I'm here to explain cell division. As we have seen, a small plant growing into a tree, a baby transforming into an adult. So there is a question that how these are happening. So the answer to this question is cell division. In simple words, cell division means dividing cells. Cell division is responsible for our growth and development, replacing dead or damaged cells, repairing cuts, formation of gametes, and many more. There are mainly two types of cell division. Number one, mitosis, and number two, meiosis. In mitosis, the parent cell get divided into new cells, and the new cells contains the same number of chromosomes as the parent cell contains. For example, human cells. Human cell contains the number of chromosomes in human cell is 46, and when it get divided in this division, then the new cell will also contain 46 number of chromosomes. And that's why this division is called equational division. This division is responsible for our growth and development, repairing cuts, and many more. So number two is meiosis. In this division, the parent cell gets divided into new cells, and the new cell contains the half of the number of chromosomes of the parent cell. That means in human cell, for example, in human cell the number of chromosomes is 46, and when it gets divided in this division, then a new cell will contain 23 number of chromosomes. So that is the half of 46. That's why this division is called reductional division, as the number of chromosomes reduce in new cells. And this division are responsible for formation of gametes, which are very essential for reproduction. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandhya Devi, and today I am going to discuss about osmosis. So we know that diffusion is a process in which molecules will move from higher concentration to lower concentration, and in case of water, this same process is called the osmosis. So this osmosis are of two types: endosmosis and exosmosis. In endosmosis, the water will enter in the cell, and in exosmosis, the water will exit from the cell. So in these two processes, three solutions are very important: hypotonic, hypertonic, and isotonic. In hypotonic, there will be more amount of water. The percentage of water will be more in the surrounding than in the shell. And in case of hypertonic, the amount of water will be more in the shell than in the surrounding. And in case of isotonic, the amount of water will be equally distributed both in the shell and in surrounding. So due to the presence of hypotonic, due to the presence of hypotonic, the water will enter in the shell, and for which the shell will swell up. And in case of exosmosis, that means in the solution of hypertonic, the shell will have more water, and for which the water will come out from the shell to the surrounding, and for which this cell will shrink. So this shrinkage of shell is called plasmolysis. So, and this endosmosis is also occurred in cell, means in seeds. So in seeds, when we will keep a seed in water, the water will enter in the seed, and for which the seed will swell up. And this process is called as imbibition. So this was my presentation. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Roti Kaisab, and today I am going to give a presentation, and my topic is cell organelles. The cellular components are called cell organelles. These cell organelles include both membrane and non-membrane bound organelles present within the cells and are distinct in their structures and functions. They coordinate and function efficiently for the normal functioning of the cell. A few of them function by providing shape and support, whereas some are involved in the locomotion and reproduction of the cell. There are various organelles present within the cell and are classified into three categories based on the presence or absence of membrane. There are different cell organelles. They are nucleolus, raw endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, centrosome, plastic, nuclear envelope, leucoplast, chromoplast, centriole, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apertures, ribosomes, lysosome, cytoplasm, vacuole, chloroplast, and mitochondrion. Thank you, and here my presentation ends.
Hello everyone, my name is Tejas Pratim Suhoria and today I am going to tell about plant tissue. Plant tissue have two types, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, they help in growth of the plant. They have three types, apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue and intercalary meristematic tissue. Apical meristematic tissue, they are found in the tips of the root and stem. They increase the length of the plant. Number 2, lateral meristematic tissue. They are found in the side of the roots and stem. They increase the girth of the plant. Number 3, intercalary meristematic tissue. They are found in the base of leaves and internode. They increases the length of leaves and internode. When the plant is fully developed, the meristematic tissue transforms to permanent tissue. Permanent tissue have two types, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue, they have three types, sclerenchyma, collenchyma and parenchyma. Parenchyma, they help in storage. Their cells are loosely packed and they have a huge intercellular space between them. The parenchyma that contain chlorophyll are known as sclerenchyma, and the parenchyma that have air in it are known as arenchyma. Sclerenchyma, they provide hardness to the cell. Their wall is thick due to lignin. They have no intercellular space between them and the cells are dead. Collenchyma, they provide flexibility to the plant and give mechanical support. Number 2, complex permanent tissue. There are two complex permanent tissues, xylem and phloem. Xylem contains of vessels, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. Xylem vessels transform water from the roots to the different part of the plant. Consists of phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma, companion cells and sheath tubes. Sheath tubes and companion cells transport the food from leaves to different parts of the plants. Thank you and have a nice day.
Hello everyone, I am Gargi Vergas from class 9. Today I am going to give a small presentation on the topic the parts of cell. So in a parts of cell there are mainly three main parts, that are cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. So first of all, cell membrane. So cell membrane is the outermost covering part of a cell which protects and democrates the cell from other cell. It is selectively permeable membrane, means it allows some substances to go inside of the cell. As we all know that there are two types of cell, that is animal cell and the plant cell. So in animal cell there is only cell membrane, but in plant cell they have an additional layer outside the cell membrane, that is known as cell wall. So next is cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is the cell-like substances present within the cell membrane. Cytoplasm is also known as protoplasm. 70% of the cytoplasm is covered with only water. In the cytoplasm, there are several organelles such as endoplasmic reticulum, ribosome, centrosome, lysosome, centrosome, and many more. So they all perform some particular functions like mitochondria. Mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell because it stores energy in the form of ATP during respiration. During respiration, the released excess energy is stored in the mitochondria in the form of ATP and released when it necessary. So it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Like this, they all perform several functions. So next is nucleus, which is the most important part of a cell. Nucleus is also known as the brain of the cell because without the nucleus, no cell can alive. Nucleus of a cell plays a very important role during cellular reproduction. It contains some thread-like structures which is known as chromosomes. These chromosomes contain nucleic acid which carry inheritance characteristics called genes. Nucleus have several parts like nuclear pore, nuclear membrane, nucleolus, nucleoplasm, etc. So here I have drawn one diagram of animal cell. So here you can see that this is the cell membrane which protects and democrates the cell from other cell, and within the cell membrane there are some gel-like substances present within the cell, and this is known as cytoplasm. And within the cytoplasm there are several organelles such as endoplasmic reticulum, then nucleus, Golgi apparatus, then centrosome, lysosome, mitochondria, etc. So this is the diagram of plant cell. So in a plant cell, they have an additional layer outside the cell membrane that is called cell wall. So the cell wall is made up of cellulose and it is very tough and rigid, giving shape to the plant cell. But animal cell lacks cell wall. So this is the diagram of nucleus. As I have said that nucleus is the brain of the cell. It controls and everything. So it is a spherical body surrounded by a double membrane called nuclear membrane. This membrane has many pores. This is known as nuclear pores. Within the nuclear membrane, there are several semi-solid. This is known as nucleoplasm, which contains several thread-like structures, which is known as chromatin fibers. These fibers carry genes, which transfer the characteristics of a cell to a new cell, and that are formed during the cell division. Now, the nucleus also bears one or more rounded granules called nucleolus. And this nucleolus is an important site for protein synthesis. So here my presentation ends. Thank you.
Hello everyone, respected ma'am and my dear friends. So today I am here going to give a presentation on the topic lysosomes. These are a kind of waste disposal system of the cell. Lysosomes are membrane-bound sacs that are filled with digestive enzymes. These enzymes are made by rough endoplasmic reticulum. Lysosomes are also called the suicidal bags of a cell. During the disturbance in cellular metabolism or when the cell gets damaged, lysosomes may burst and the enzymes can digest their own cell. They are absent in red blood cells. The functions of lysosomes are number one, they help to keep the cell clean by digesting any foreign materials that enters the cell as well as worn out cellular organelles, hence called scavengers and cellular housekeepers. Then number two, they remove foreign materials by breaking it into small pieces through its powerful digestive enzymes. These enzymes can break down all organic materials. Then number three, during starvation, the lysosomes digest stored food contains by autophagy and supply the energy to the cell. So thank you. Here my presentation is ended.
Hello everyone, today I am going to give a presentation on the subject science. So my topic will be cell wall and nucleus. So first, what is cell wall? A cell wall is a structural layer surrounding some type of cells just outside the cell membrane. It can be tough, flexible, and sometimes rigid. Cell walls are present most in prokaryotic, in algae, fungi, and eukaryotic, including plants, but it is absent in animals. And my next topic is what's nucleus. Nucleus. A nucleus is a membrane bound organelle that contain the cell's chromosomes. Porous is the nucleus membrane allow for the passage of molecules in and out of the nucleus. One example of nucleus is the center core of the atom. And here my presentation ends. Thank you.